Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of City Hall Live. I am Joe Abeta, and today we have a great show for you. Joining us is City Councilor for District 1, Signe Lindell. How you doing today, Councilor?
Every day is good, Joe. You know that.
It's a good day. It's a good day. And then with us, who was with us recently, but she's back, and it's always a pleasure, Jill Dixon from the Food Depot.
Yep.
How you guys doing?
We're fantastic.
We're doing great.
Yeah.
Let me guess. What are we going to talk about, Joe?
We're talking about, I don't know what we'll be talking. We're talking.
We got an idea.
The Super Bowl.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
but not the one you're thinking about. Not the
Super
big
Bowl.
game. We're talking about the big Soup Bowl, right?
Yes. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Slurp.
Slurp, 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 shoveling it in.
Yep.
So let's talk about this. What is the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl is the Food Depot's largest annual fundraiser.
Okay.
It's a culinary competition between local chefs, culinary schools, local grocery store chains, actually, to put a category of soup forward. So there will be a competition in seafood, savory, cream, and vegetarian.
Nice.
And they're all competing to see who has the best soup overall and who can be the best in their category.
That's great. When is it?
It's going to be Saturday, February 1st, right here at the Convention Center.
Okay.
The VIP tasting hours from 11 until noon, and the general admission period is from 12 to 2:30.
Okay. Now here's the thing, and you can please correct me if I'm wrong. This thing sells out pretty quickly, right?
It's got pretty high demand. We have well over 1,000 people attend every single year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. So if you want to go, get a ticket, right?
The big thing is the tickets are $10 off right now.
Okay.
The early bird pricing is fantastic. That VIP hour is $75.
Okay.
But that gets you in with just 250 other people. It's nice and quiet. You can move around. It doesn't have all the bustle of the general admission period, but it's real easy to get in and taste the soups and cast your votes. But the general admission period, you should expect a crowd of 1,000 people there in the ballroom with you.
That's awesome. And you're able to, what it is you get in, you pay your price of admission, that is donated, right? That's all donated to the Food Depot.
Absolutely.
And then you're able to go and taste all the soup you want, right?
Yeah, you
That's
can
right.
48 ounces of soup, I think it's going
I
to be this year.
I don't want to think about it quite yet, but I'm going to be ready. I mean, I'm in training.
You're in training?
I am in training.
What are you up
for
to
this.
now? How many ounces a day can you do?
I'm up to my perfect weight if I grow 2 inches taller. I know that.
There you go. Aren't we all? So is there so do the participants, the people that are admitted in, do they vote for what their best soup is? Or do you have a set of judges that go around that vote?
The winners are 100% determined by the popular vote.
Okay.
So the folks that buy tickets to the event, our volunteers don't vote, the restaurants don't vote, the staff at the Food Depot, of course, doesn't vote.
Okay.
But we do have, every single person who buys a ticket gets a ballot, and they get to cast their vote for who is their favorite in each category and best overall. And those winners get a great trophy at the end, and they get the bragging rights for the next year, quite frankly.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this, Councilor. What was your favorite soup in the past? What's been your favorite?
Oh, you know what?
That's memorable.
I always kind of go toward the cream soups.
Okay.
They're kind of heavy, and
Yeah.
I like the cream soups. I know a couple of years ago, the Four Seasons had a great soup that they won with.
That butternut.
Yeah, it was a butternut squash soup, and I don't know what they put on top of it. Nothing that's ever passed through my kitchen.
Yeah.
But Tony was their sous chef, and he did that. I think it's amazing. How many restaurants do we have?
This year we're going to have 24, but we've had as
24.
many as 30.
I think that it says so much about our community that 24 restaurants will sign up and participate in this. It's no small task for them to get down here, have some kind of a setup, get into the ballroom early in the morning, figure out how they're going to present that soup, how it's going to happen. I'm really, really grateful to every restaurant that participates in this. It's an amazing contribution to the community. It raises sizable money for the Food Depot. Each dollar provides 4 meals.
Yeah.
So it's an event that really makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Jill, what's been your favorite in the past?
You know what? When you
That was
asked that
good.
question, I remembered that soup as well. The simple fact of being on staff and heading up or
Yeah, I
quarterbacking
gotcha.
the event.
I
I
gotcha.
usually get to taste one or two soups on the fly. I don't
Gotcha.
get to take advantage of that. There was a cold soup last year by one of the winners that was really interesting. It was I don't even
gazpacho
know, a
type thing?
gazpacho kind of cocktail, something. It was so unusual. I really like those. I'm really keen on the seafoods.
Oh, yeah.
Personally. So if I get into the ballroom for a minute, I head straight to the seafood category and try to slurp as many as possible.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I remember growing up, my dad used to make clam chowder for us with cream, but he wouldn't measure anything. He'd just dump a bunch of stuff in with a bunch of cream and stuff, and then we had that, So yeah, so you remember those things. Okay, so here's another question. I think a lot of people, you're on the 20th?
26th
The
this year.
26th, okay. And tell me a little bit about the history of this. I know that 26 years ago, I wasn't here and you weren't here.
I wasn't
I
here.
wouldn't think, Councilor
I was
Lindell?
not here.
You were not here, so.
I wasn't even born.
But what's
Me either.
yeah. No, what's the legend behind this whole thing? How did it get together? How did the Super Bowl come together? What were the origins of it?
The Food Depot and the Super Bowl were born essentially in the same year.
Okay.
This has been our signature fundraiser
Okay.
the entire time we've been in existence.
Okay.
And the food bank started as this really small food rescue operation that a lot of local chefs like Catherine Cagle over at Cafe Pasquale's all got together and said, we got to do something about restaurant waste. So they helped to create the first iteration of the Food Depot as a
Okay.
food bank. And it makes sense for restaurant folks to come together and want to do something for a fundraiser that involved restaurants. I remember, just hearing the stories about this first Super Bowls being held in the Wild Oats parking lot. Just a couple of restaurants cooking up a cool soup, getting people to come out for a couple bucks a person, and really to see how it's grown. We have 5 or 6 restaurants on our wait list every single year. Those spots are filled before November even hits. We have over 45 sponsors this year helping to
Wow.
underwrite the event. And the community support that you talked about is so incredible.
It's amazing.
And now it's an event that raises about $60,000 and helps to provide 240,000 meals.
That's wonderful. And for the folks that have not seen Jill's show when she came on to talk about the Food Depot and about the food drives and things like that during the holidays. A little bit about the Food Depot. Tell us about that.
The Food Depot is Northern New Mexico's only food bank.
Okay.
We're the behind-the-scenes supplier of food to hunger relief organizations. Think about domestic violence shelters, shelters for the homeless, your traditional food pantries, where people just go and get a bag of groceries. And we also have direct service programs where we're supporting communities and schools and giving bags of food to children in our local elementary schools and out further into the 9 counties we serve in Northern New Mexico.
So there's one more thing with that.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
You
I
can't. You gotta go.
gotta bring it up.
Do
Okay.
it.
The Food Depot in the last couple of years has expanded their programming so that they have a program of food for pets.
Yes.
And you know that's kind of my deal.
Yes.
Evelyn Ward, I think, spearheaded that program, and they do distribution twice a week.
Once a month in all outlying communities.
Right, so it's an amazing program. Pets are really important to every family, and making sure that those pets are fed, because I think what you found was that people were willing to give up their food to ensure that their pets were getting something to eat.
And
So
pets
true.
play a big role in the family and give you a little bit of, rest of the thought, right? They're there for comfort. They help you out, right? With
They
the
are
everyday
love
comfort.
sponges.
They are.
They are. And that
absolutely.
connection of mental and emotional health
That's
Yes.
right.
with pets is clearly documented.
Better said, Jill.
Sorry,
Better
that's
said.
my job. That's
yes,
what you bring me
exactly,
here
yes.
for. But that program is really essential. And the Food Depot
It
is one
is.
of the only food banks in the country that is operating a pet food bank in conjunction with its human food programs.
Yes, no, absolutely. I have to say, I was in the schools, I was doing some work for the schools, and I happened to be interviewing one of the communities and schools people.
They're a great partner.
Yes, they are. And I noticed that they had a whole little mini food bank in there.
Yeah, they have a little pantry in there.
For the kids that would come in, and it's just it's pretty amazing that we're reaching these kids, because I know being that age, all of us being that age, the little things of seeing our parents worrying about things, and it takes a toll on you.
It absolutely does.
And to know to have that comfort that when I go to school, I'll be able to eat something. Mom and dad know that I'm going to be eating something, and it'll be okay, is pretty huge in a kid's mind, right?
Absolutely.
It gives them comfort to be able to learn and stuff. So, you know, definitely you guys are doing the Lord's work out there, man, and it's something awesome.
You know, one of the communities and schools persons on the ground there said that one of the students that they were giving groceries to at the high school level told them that they were able to stay in school instead of getting a job because they could contribute to the family.
That is awesome.
So it makes such a big difference to have these partnerships. We're so thankful for our communities and schools partners distributing that food. The shelves for those food pantries were built on Comcast Cares Day out at our warehouse by volunteers on that day. So really it takes the entire community coming together, donating financially to enable us to buy the food that goes on those shelves, and everybody working together to make sure our community members don't have to worry, that kids can go to school and be kids.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about this. Where can people get their tickets to the Super Bowl?
Online, thefooddepot.org. You're going to see a link for the Super Bowl right there on the homepage. Big, fat Get Tickets button. So click on that. You can choose your VIP button if you want to get there while it's still peace and quiet and move around easily. Otherwise, join the activity for the general admission, 12 to 2:30.
It's a lot of fun.
Those tickets for general admission right now are $35. They'll go up to $45 the day of the event at the door. All that money goes towards feeding our community. Really, really important stuff.
And if you haven't, you need a little bit more information on the Food Depot. They have a great website there. Check it out while you're buying your ticket. You know, see what they're up to. And there's a nice little donate button there too that you can continue to donate if you'd like to as well, right?
Yes.
That's right. Okay, and then the event. Let's talk about the event, the day. What day is it? When can people get in?
Saturday, February 1st.
Okay.
The VIP tasting hour is going to start at 11.
Okay.
It's going to run until noon. You can obviously stay the full time. General admission will be let in at noon. That will go until 2:30. The results will be announced right at the end of the event. But voting closes at 2, so you want to make sure that you get there early enough to taste all 48 ounces of soup.
Right, and
Come
it's
ready.
at the convention center.
Yes.
Which
At
we
the-
got because Councilor Lindell gave it to us.
It's a
So
great
thank you.
privilege.
Yeah.
It's a great privilege to focus my one convention center donation to the Food Depot. I've done it as long as I've been in office, and I want to throw a hook out to former Councilor Chris Calvert, who, when I was running the first time, mentioned to me that he thought it would be good if I would consider that for my convention
Thank
center
you.
give, and he was right. It gives a huge payback to the community, and that's what we look for in that give, is traction for the community.
It's an amazing gift.
No, absolutely. And I know that you're very active. You and Maria are very active in donating time and effort.
It's a focus for us. I mean, it doesn't seem right that people are hungry.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't seem right that children are hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to do something about that all the time, every day. And this community does. It's amazing how people come together and put their efforts in to, and the Food Depot's amazing. They make us all feel so good about it. It's like, yeah, going down there, it's like walking into a place that you're always welcome. We got something for you to do. Come on in. We got something. We got some volunteer work for you. I highly recommend, if you're looking for a place to be involved in this community, stop in at the Food Depot. You'll meet some other great people there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's quite an operation too.
There's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, there is. You guys have different areas, departments, and all that stuff, so it's definitely
true.
top notch. So that's great. Well, thank you both for coming on.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
really,
Joe.
really appreciate it. It's an exciting time of year. The Super Bowl, which is going to be happening February 1st, and you want to go to the fooddepot.org to buy your tickets. Want to thank you both for coming on. Want to thank Christina and Adrian for coming on, for behind the scenes and cracking the whip And folks, have a safe week. Have a great week. Adios.